everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Tuesday Tips. Brought to you by Unlifted Official. Carter and Cole here.
That's more intense, more exaggerated.
Just trying to keep the people engaged. You know what I'm saying? Our producer, Cole Reed.
What's up?
Face to face, everybody.
Finally, I don't get to sit on this end of the podcast very often.
Out from behind the computer.
Yeah, I'm a real person. In case you didn't know,
That's right. He exists. If you have any complaints about the podcast, please DM him. Uplifty Podcast on Instagram.
send me all your issues. I can fix them.
All right, tip this week. We are talking about emptying our freezers as we're getting closer to fall hunting season. We were kind of talking about this, kicking around the idea yesterday. Figured this would be a good one to talk about. Probably a lot of people in the same sort of situations, but
For sure.
I drew an elk tag this fall, and if I killed an elk right now, I'd be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and you have a number of freezers.
I have a chest freezer and a stand-up freezer, and I do not have room for an elk at all.
They're packed.
They're pretty full. I've been slowly trying to do exactly what we're talking about here, chip away. But, yeah, it's full.
Mine is too.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like right now I'm getting to the point where I'm looking in my freezer and it's all the cuts that are not as popular.
Not as easy, maybe.
Yeah, not as easy. Maybe it's a little more intuitive. It's not a quick meal. So like
Yeah, the back straps are gone.
back straps are gone. All my ground meat is gone.
Yeah.
So it's really just like whole cuts. I have a lot of roasts.
Yeah.
That I need to get rid of. And every year when I do kill an animal, it's like I want both roasts. And I never turn it into ground because I'm like, I'll cook this, and I never cook it.
Roasts are an investment. I mean, you need hours.
Yeah.
Hours and hours. So roasts are a good one. I've got several drawers full of roasts that have accumulated. Probably some, probably got some from 2 or 3 seasons ago, which I'm not super proud to say. But if you guys have been hunting for a long time and you have freezers, stuff gets buried down in there and you forget about it. And of course, we want to, do right by the animal and do right by the meat that we've harvested. But stuff does get buried. And, roasts for me right now are in the crock pot, go to work, or maybe in the crock pot on a Sunday morning. And then I'll meal prep that for the week. And that's a good way to knock out a big solid chunk of meat in your freezer.
Yep.
Summertime, right? So it's easy to grab some stuff from the garden, some bell peppers or tomatoes or hot peppers or whatever. Toss them in there as well. So that's kind of my go-to for roasts currently.
Yeah. Right now, I still have roasts, but I'm really plugging away at the antelope that we got. What was it, this past season?
Yeah.
2023?
Yeah.
I'm plugging away at this antelope, and this was my first time, one, getting an antelope, and two, cooking it. So I'm starting to find new recipes, new ways to cook it. And I think because not that I've never had antelope, but I've never cooked it myself or prepared it, it's always just like a little more time consuming to look up recipes, try new things. Okay, that didn't turn out well. What went wrong? And also, will other people eat it too? That's my big thing, is always sharing. So it's just a little more time consuming.
Yeah.
So I'm right now in the process of trying to find new recipes and find the time and dedicate that time to cleaning out the freezer and really doing right, like you said, doing right by that animal.
It's a good opportunity to try new stuff, to try new recipes. And if you don't know where to start, other than just Google, I'd go with anything by Hank Shaw or Brad Leone, or there's a lot of very good cooks out there that apply to wild game as well, or ask around, right? Reach out to podcast page, be like, hey, this is a cut I have, and this is what it is. What can I do with it? I've also been giving away a lot to coworkers who are interested in trying wild game. I think that's a cool way to kind of be a ambassador for the sport, especially to folks who don't hunt. So Colt and I went down, killed a bunch of wild hogs. Um, I don't need 12 pork shoulders.
Got a little carried away.
Yeah, so got a little trigger happy there. So we were happy to share those. I got some coworkers who are really into smoking and that kind of stuff, and they love it and they love sharing it with their families. Or the go to is to have people over and then cook a ton of it. Right? We just did that with HLE Fish Camp that we hosted at my house. Had 8 dudes come from all over as far as Long Island. Shout out to Frankie. And we cooked a ton of antelope and mule deer and whitetail. And that made some space for sure, right? And, obviously the goal shouldn't be just to make space, right? You want to enjoy and use that meat to the fullest capacity and whatever your ethics and morals look like there. But like, new season's coming, right? Tags are going to be filled. So got to make sure you have room, because you don't want to kill an animal and not have room, right? And God forbid that goes bad.
Yeah.
Right? That would be even worse.
I think one thing, and I'm going to take the time to do this, is I may just spend, an hour or two and just really taking everything out of the deep freeze and doing an inventory. Because like you said, things get buried. I'm sure there's something on the very bottom.
Yeah.
Might be a good cut. Might find surprise tenderloin somewhere.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take the time to really organize it, because as time goes on, when you first pack that deep freeze, it looks all nice and neat. But as you start shuffling through, you start throwing some pieces to the side or moving them. But I'm going to take that time, organize it, really look at how much space I have and what I could do to make more space. And then that will, I guess, really determine my hunting season, because I didn't apply for any tags out west this year. So I'll probably be sticking to southeast whitetail, and that will, be how many I kill will be determined by how much space I have. Because I don't want to end up in that situation where I'm having to try to borrow your freezer or borrow the neighbor's freezer, just to hold on to that stuff. I just got to make sure I have the space.
That inventory comment that made me just think of something. My wife, Robin, will take packing tape on top of the chest freezer and then write with Sharpie or an Expo marker, whitetail roast ×2, whatever. Antelope backstrap ×1, pork shoulder ×50,
Yeah.
whatever. And that gives you a quick at a glance, hey, this is what I have in here. Right now, my biggest nemesis is we also get half a cow every year from our friends, Mason Savage Cattle Co. up in North Georgia. And my biggest nemesis right now is the soup bones that he gives. There's just endless soup bones. I'm tired. I'm tired of making stock, stock, and all that stuff. So
that's time consuming.
That takes up a lot of room. And I also got a head of that dead hog in my chest.
Still,
yeah, that would sure clear up a lot of room. That thing's head is huge. I should probably do something with that.
Well, it sounds like we have a project or two.
Oh, we got a project for sure. For sure. You got anything else you want to add?
No, I think just taking a look at what you have, try to make the best use of it, and really this is just one of those things that I think kind of falls on the back burner when we talk about fall prep. We talk about shooting our bow, we talk about getting in shape, we talk about sighting our rifles and all this other stuff, but and I know we've done the tips about this, but like there are just things that we don't think about after the kill.
Yeah.
And I think you can add this to your list of things to do, and it's one, make sure you have the right facilities at home and the right space to bring that meat home. So I'm definitely adding this to my checklist and going to start working on it.
Yeah. my closing thought would be, when we post this, maybe drop your favorite wild game recipe in the comments. That might help somebody out and jog someone's imagination and let them use a new, new process, new flavors, something they have in the freezer. Because I know sometimes I get in a rut cooking the same, cooking my ground venison over and over the same way, Korean barbecue style, and maybe I want to try something new. So drop your favorite recipe in the comments, and hopefully other folks will reciprocate and folks can try something new. So
yeah, absolutely.
There you go. Go look at your freezer, you bums. All right. Appreciate the hell out of you guys. We'll talk to you next week.